All righty, so we got another New York Mets spring training game in the books. This one against the Washington Nationals with a final score of 7-3. This game was 3-2. Looked like the Mets might have had the game in the bag, had the lead. Then the bullpen came in to really mess up the very good outing that we had from David Peterson. As we have some people join us very early, I appreciate it, guys. What was Ross doing? Why can't we see May or Lube, Diaz, Castro, Pitcher, Montgomery? Hi, Mars Gaming. Well, Z, they still are trying to figure out those last couple of bullpen spots. And these are two guys that still were under consideration. Robert Gazelman is someone that the Mets do like. And then Stephen Tarpley being a left-hander. It would be nice to have a second lefty in the pen. So he wants to give these guys an opportunity. And neither one of them did well today. Hi, Steve C. So it looks like these guys probably are going to make the bullpen. The Mets were pretty much just giving them one final chance, and they weren't able to capitalize here. So I think that Montgomery is a guy that can make the team. Obviously we will see May and Loop and Diaz and Cash, all those guys. They will pitch when the games really matter. I mean, since it is still spring training, they're not really managing the game to win the game. They're just more so managing it to construct the team. That's the whole goal of spring training, just to get the most out of everybody and just get ready. I agree with Tony Metro that Gazalma is horrible. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us could agree that Gazalma is definitely not the pitcher he is now than he was in 2016. So there's no question about that. What are my thoughts on Pearson's performance? I thought David Pearson pitched very well, considering that it's been almost 2 weeks since David Pearson has pitched. And you know what? He went almost around 80 pitches today, and he went 5 innings, only giving up 2 runs, or maybe it was even 6 innings. I think but he pushed the 6 innings. So I think the fact that David Pearson gave you 6 innings, only 2-run ball against the Nationals. Obviously, Juan Soto wasn't in the lineup, but that's a pretty good start for a guy that's going to be your number 4. At some point, might not even be in your rotation. So I think that David Pearson pitched very well. Hi, Mars Gaming again. Was not watching what happened. I mean, well, David Pearson pitched well. You had McNeil get himself a nice little RBI hit earlier in the game. J.D. Davis drove in a run. You had Dom Smith get what was ruled a triple, although it kind of looked like an error from Josh Bell. So, I mean, that's how the Mets got their 3 runs. And again, David Pearson was pitching well, but with the combination of Gazelman and Tarpley, all of a sudden the 3-2 game became the 7-3 game. So sometimes the bullpen could definitely do that. Could Vizcaino make the team? As long as Vizcaino is healthy, he definitely has a chance to make this team. I think that as long as Vizcaino and Drew Smith can get healthy, at some point they will make the roster. But I think just to start the season, just for opening day purposes, I believe that those last 2 guys are going to be Jacob Barnes and Mike Montgomery. And tomorrow is going to be a very big outing for Jacob Barnes. They're going to use him as an opener for Joey Lucchesi, which could be something they experiment with during the course of the season. Lucchesi's numbers are especially bad the 3rd time around the lineup. So if you have opener in, you could still allow having somebody like Lucchesi pitch deep into games, but not necessarily facing the order 3rd time around. Jonathan Gazelman sucked, and hello. Yes, Gazelman was not very good, and hello to you, Jonathan. Brandon, what do you think of Tommy Hunter being released? Makes no sense to me, like Chase Street being non-tendered. Well, Tommy Hunter had the opt-out clause, Brandon. That's kind of what it came down to. There was a certain date that if Tommy Hunter was not really, guaranteed to make the team or feel like he wasn't going to make the team, he did have the option to ask for his release. And that's what happened there. I mean, Tommy Hunter has not pitched as well as some of these other guys that are going to make the team. So, I mean, that just made sense for both sides. And then, you know what? Tommy Hunter could go to another team where he probably will make it. He was a little disappointing. I expected him to be slightly better, but that's what happened. I do agree that Chase Street should have never have gotten non-tendered. I think he had a really good impact for this team last year. I like what he did a lot. Another left-hander, went multiple innings, and he pitched well as a Met, which is not something you could take for granted. That definitely made no sense to me. But again, maybe it's because it's a Brody guy. Sandy's really trying to wipe a clean slate and get his guys in here. That could be part of it. Do you like what you saw from Tommy Z? Not exactly. I did expect him to be a little better. He was okay, but he wasn't great. It looks like I'm going to have to eat tofu since Barnes most likely going to make that. That's true, Jonathan. I mean, listen, Jacob Barnes was bad in his very first outing of spring training, but ever since then, he definitely has improved, and he has pitched well. And you know what? Jeremy Hefner really likes the guy. That's a good person to have in your corner. If you have the support from the pitching coach, that's someone good to have, backing you. And the fact that Jacob Barnes does not have a minor league option means that if Jacob Barnes does not make the team come opening day, you can't have Jacob Barnes for the entire season. And when it comes to pitching, you want as many arms as possible. And that's why I think Gazelman is not going to make the team, is because since he has that minor league option, the Mets could just start the year with Robert Gazelman in the minors. They don't need to have him there opening day. So that's the way I feel like they're going to go. It all has to do with, who has the options, who doesn't. Very similar to Tommy Hunter, Mike Montgomery had that opt-out. So we're like, if he's not going to make the team, he could ask for his release. And Mike Montgomery is not a guy that I want to get rid of quite yet. I would like to at least start the season with him. He's a guy similar to Chaser Shreve, could give me multiple innings, is a left-handed pitcher, and has pitched pretty well in spring training. So I'm definitely willing to give Mike Montgomery a shot and see what happens, because it's not like we have a ton of other, really good relief pitchers that's like, oh, we can't have Montgomery make the team because you have all these good relievers. That isn't the case. Pearson looked really good. I agree, John. I was I really like what I saw from David Pearson. I'm proud of him because, again, guy pitched in 2 weeks. The way they managed David Pearson, I did not like, but as long as he's pitching well, that's all that matters. Let's see what else we got here. Why is Eichhoff here? I mean, he's still here as minor league depth. I don't know if Jared Eichhoff has an opt-out, but he's a guy that, like, listen, if you need to start, you go to Jordan Yamamoto. If he's not available, then you go Corey Oswald, who, we don't love. But if you don't, not Corey Oswald, then maybe you go Eichhoff. So, I mean, that's why he's here. So it's not a complete minor league pitcher. I mean, Eichhoff has not been amazing in spring training, but that's why he is here. Brandon, I like Vizcaino and think he will end up being a big star sports appearance. I agree. I definitely think that he could be one of those guys. Mets need more lefties, more skin. I would like to see that. Will we have a second lefty in the bullpen coming day? I think so. I think Mike Montgomery might be that second lefty. Why can't Yamamoto go to the Penzi? I think because they want him as rotation depth. Because, like I said, if somebody misses a start, or if because there's a rain or something like that, and you need someone to make a start, it's good to have Yamamoto there, because if he's in the bullpen and you had to use him a couple of days before, he wouldn't be ready to make a start. They want to use Yamamoto as a starter, not a reliever, which I totally agree with. So that's why he's not going to be in the bullpen. I hope that that's something that Joey Lucchese could do, because he is someone that's left-handed, and it looks like he has the delivery to be a bullpen arm. So that's something I'd like to see the Mets experiment with, as the season progresses, as these other starting pitchers come back. As Thor gets healthy, as Carlos Carrasco gets healthy, then you could experiment with all these other guys. Gazelman stinks. It's not 2015 anymore. Get him out. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is not 2016 Gazelman, no doubt about it. So that's it for him. I feel like he's going to have to start the year in the minor leagues. If he does really well there and the Mets need another pitcher, yes, you could call him up, but not the guy that I'd be looking to have in my bullpen. Bauer looks so disappointed in March game. He does. I mean, Bauer has not been very good in spring training, no question about it. Frank, what are your thoughts on Thomas Szapucki, Mets prospect, and when do you think he'll be called up? I like Szapucki so far. I mean, he's a lefty. He's still trying to get his velocity back. And he's a guy that I think could be called up next year. I mean, this year, it's possible. Like, if the Mets do have more injuries to rotation, or if guys are not getting the job done, Szapucki could get called up at some point. But I feel like it's probably going to be next year. The Mets should have enough arms, with the Taijuan Walker and others, that they should not need Thomas Szapucki quite yet. You do want to let him rehab from those Tommy John surgeries that he's had, and really let him have a minor league season. I say that a lot, but really have these big-time prospects get a full minor league season under their belt, and then we can see when we want to call them up. But he'll be here pretty soon. Maybe he could be a guy who flips with Lucchese, finds with Lucchese, the next 4 for Yamamoto. That could be lethal. It could be, that's something they could consider. But again, like, I really want Yamamoto as a guy that, again, if we need to start, it's him, not Corey Oswald, not one of these other guys. I think that that's just the smart way to do it. This is where you're always covered. You have to have that minor league depth. That is very, very important. And again, Yamamoto has the minor league options, not something that Barnes or Mike Montgomery have. That's something that also does play into the decision-making process. I've been saying for a while, Bauer's overrated. Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of you guys look like you were right about Trevor Bauer, and that I definitely was wrong. He has not been good so far. So we'll see how it works in the regular season, though. Are the Mets hoping that Gazelman returns to 152 form? I understand why. Yeah, I mean, yeah, David, that has to be what they're hoping for. Like, they're hoping that they could get a good Robert Gazelman somehow, some way. Again, I don't see it happening, but they've given him a lot of chances. Now, they really have. Will Fargas be on the team next year if Conforto leaves? It's possible, but I don't think that's going to be the guy. Like, I imagine the Mets might bring in another outfielder if Conforto were to leave. But I do think that they really are going to try to retain him, because the thing is that Sandy Olson said that, one of the main reasons why they did not go all out to get George Springer was because they want to keep Michael Conforto. So since you didn't get Springer, you kind of have to keep Conforto. So, I mean, that would make a ton of sense if they get that done. Mars Gaming Yankees getting sweep so far. Yeah, no. What's up? I'll take. Yeah, exactly, Andrew. I completely agree. If David Pearson is giving me 6 and a 2-run ball, sign me up for that. So I want to ask the chat, what do you guys think about Steve Cohen's tweet asking what Francisco Lindor should get? I'm really curious to hear what your guys' take is on that, and how does that affect your feelings on how likely you think the extension is? Do you now feel more confident that a Francisco Lindor extension is going to happen now that Steve Cohen was willing to send out a tweet like that? I would like to hear your guys' take on that subject. Jonathan, Mets should sign Marte next year. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how many more years Starling Marte has in center field. It is very few, but well, he could help the team for sure. I mean, Starling Marte is a nice outfielder to have. I mean, he's right-handed. Cum said Tenderland. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, Benjamin. So I think that if you're Steve Cohen and you know that constantly in his mentions, all he has is Met fans saying extend Lindor constantly. So he knows how badly the Met fans want to get it done. And I don't think that he would go out of his way to troll us like that if he was not going to get it done. Exactly. You're not confident, Jonathan. I think it's going to happen. Cole, you think Cole? I think so too. Like, I don't think that he would go all the way, out on a limb to say, oh, what do you guys think he should get? Like, I feel like it's really going to happen tomorrow. Maybe not, but I think that by opening day, it should happen. Heyman said they're more optimistic for a deal, so 315 over 10. Yeah, I think that they still have to get a little higher than that. I feel like it's going to have to be at the minimum in the 320s, because I do think that Francisco Lindor is looking for around 350. That's just what I think he's looking for, and I don't know that for sure. But I think the Mets in the compromise land, it's got to be in the 320s. I think 315 might be a little low. And again, I don't want to take any risks. If I have to overpay a little bit to get the job done, I will do it. I'm going to be very pissed if we don't draft the lefties in June. Yeah, no, I mean, we're going to need some more left-handers in the bullpen. I mean, there's no doubt, because you're going to face a lot of tough lefties, guys like, we know Soto and Freeman. So you're going to need the left-handed pitchers. What is Olsen doing, Jonathan? He's getting the best price as possible. He's trying not to just give in with what Lindor wants. He's trying to just get him as low of a price as he possibly could get, just to give the Mets more long-term financial flexibility. I know you guys don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that either. I wish they would kind of just, get it done. Show that you are the richest owner in baseball. If you have to overpay for the guy, do it, and that's all there really is to it. You shouldn't have to really have to play the waiting game. You should really try to, pinch every penny. I don't think that has to necessarily be part of the negotiations. How do you feel about cracking on substance users? Bauer is crying. I mean, I'm all for it. Like, you know what? I want the game to be played the authentic way. No foreign substances, no forms of cheating, no sign stealing. I want to see baseball played the proper way. So I'm good with cracking down on substance users. And if that shows that Bauer's season was a fluke because of substances, that's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big development for the sport. So we'll see how it affects the pitchers. Whether it's the substances, whether it is the ball being denned possibly. It's going to be interesting to see how all these pitchers do. Compare to the guys that had really big years in 2020, like Bauer and others. How will they be this year? Conforto might want a Springer contract. I think that's very possible because he is younger. Is he as good as George Springer? We'll see. But, I mean, he definitely is younger, so he has that in his advantage. The one thing Conforto does not have, he doesn't have as good outfield defense as Springer, but we'll see what he asks for. I think that $200 million, I feel like that contract is kind of what he's looking for. But that's just me. David, I never doubted that Lindor resigned. It's newer at the Mets manager. I believe will happen right after spring training ends. Yeah, I feel like he's probably going to go down to the wire, when they do get it done. So I just want to see it happen, though. Like I know they're really trying to wait, but I would just like to get it done just to get it off my chest, not have to worry about it anymore. What else do we have? It's so obvious Barry's a substance not funny. Yeah, I mean, it could be. I would just let Conforto go. Boris wants free agency. Yeah, I think Conforto's going to go to free agency. I don't think they're going to get the extension done in spring training or the deadline. Z, I don't think we need Shane Green right now. Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been saying lately is that, like, the more spring training goes on and you don't have Shane Green, the worse he's going to be if you do sign him, because the fact that he hasn't really gotten the full spring training to really get into game action, you're not going to get the same guy. Andrew, your comment, I would be more interested in somebody like Steve Cishek, because he could be a cheap option for the bullpen. And the thing about Cishek, he has that, submarine sidearm delivery, and he had a full spring training with the Houston Astros where he pitched well. Like, he had a bad first outing, but ever since then, Cishek pitched well with Houston. So the fact that the guy's arm is built up, it's in shape, for the season, I'd be all for Steve Cishek. I think we could use as many relievers as possible, especially with Tommy Hunter being released. So if you could get Cishek to a minor league contract, I'm all for it. Jeremy Jeffrey's minor league contract, do it. And, that's the way pitching works. You need as many pitchers as possible. Do you think it's possible a healthy Mets rotation has 5 pitchers better than Bauer? I don't know about all 5, but maybe a couple of guys could have better seasons. Should Mets make a trade? We'll see. Maybe not yet. Frank, Vincent, what's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. I know you said you've been missing the streams because they're early. Well, we finally had a night spring training game, so we got a nighttime stream. Who we trading? I don't know who we're trading, Jonathan, but I know some positions that we could use some upgrading. I found pretty interesting that J.D. Davis had a nice defensive play at third base today, but then Jeff McNeil missed a routine play. We had an error. So stuff like that is frustrating because Brandon Nimmo, he had a really nice play in center field coming in on a ball. The diving catch, that was great to see. Dom had a couple nice plays in left field. So the defense is going to come and go. Like, there will be times where guys miss routine plays, but hopefully it's not too bad. Bauer's career ERA was hovering around at 4. Yeah, and even Taijuan Walker has a better career ERA than Bauer. So we'll see. Do you agree that JD looks better at third? Yes, I do. I think that JD Davis definitely looks better at third. I was surprised when I saw JD Davis going to his left. Oh, my gosh, I got the vaccine today. My arm is killing me doing that. But JD Davis going into the hole, taking away a play from Francisco Lindor and throwing it across the diamond. I was pretty impressed by that. Even Lindor was like, wait a minute. You got that kind of range, JD? I didn't know. What else? Conform will go free agent because Boris Klein. Yep. If Cohen wants to keep him, he will resign him. Money's not an obstacle for Cohen. Yeah, that's the hope, David. I agree. So what's new with the Mets? What's new is that Robert Gsellman is not very good. I mean, that's the way it looks. Andrew, hey, bring back the Todd father, or are we waiting for the playoff push? Probably, Andrew. I mean, we're probably going to give up a prospect for him in like August or something, or July. So the Mets are probably going to wait on that, Andrew. That's going to be their big deadline move. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Do you think do you want to see the NL adopt the DH? Do you think it'd be a positive for the Mets? The DH, like, personally, for me personally, not involving the Mets, I don't care either way. Like, I'm fine with no DH. If there's a DH, great. But I think that for the Mets, they definitely could use it. I mean, the center field defense, the left field defense, if you had a true center fielder out there and you can move Nimmo to left, Dom over to first, have a DH, it would really help the Mets out a lot. So, I mean, the Mets could use it. It's either way. Frazier, Frank, I know Cole, but I think that another team is going to sign him, and then they could trade him. Trade for him, I should say. But I don't think they're going to sign him right now. Like, I don't think that's something they want to do right now, unless he was willing to accept the minor league deal. But Frazier did ask for a release with the Pirates. He probably wants to be on a major league roster, which I don't think he should be on a major league roster for the Mets right now. I like Guillorme. I'll take my chances with VR. I don't really need to have Todd Frazier on this team. I've seen plenty of him for a few years now. He's getting older. He's not getting better. No more Todd Frazier. Pretty please. What else do we have? Why did the Mets trade for Todd in 2020? They felt like they needed another guy who could is right-handed that could hit lefties. The veteran leadership. He does help out Pete Alonso a little bit with the mental game. Alonso was using his bat. He got hot. So more so, I feel it was for the clubhouse. Frazier is a good clubhouse guy. I will give him that. But that's about it. Did Tarpley's chance of 18 get ruined by this game? It definitely took a big hit, Jonathan. I mean, this is not what he needed, because if Montgomery has another good outing, or if even Jerry Blevins has a good outing, the chances of Stephen Tarpley making this team definitely got worse. And the fact that what disappointed me about Tarpley's outing today was the fact that it was against left-handed hitters. Like, if you're going to be a guy that is not necessarily a lefty specialist, but you're better against lefties than righties, if lefties are teeing off against you, you don't really have value for the team. Do I do a fantasy baseball league, Andrew? I do not. But if you want to invite me to one, I would consider it. I mean, I've never really done it, but I would definitely would consider it. But I don't really do one right now. It's not in the plans yet. We should sign for a coach. Yes, exactly, Cole. Like, let him be a coach all the way to the side. He doesn't have to take any ABs. He doesn't have to, run the bases. So I don't. We don't really need him on the field. Get A-Rod to buy us. No, 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 no. And Jared Kelenic, I'm glad you brought that up, Vincent, because Messref YouTube just sent me this tweet. Jared Kelenic is going to the minor leagues for Seattle. So they really want to manipulate that playing time. And that means that Jared Kelenic is going to be even more frustrated with the Seattle Mariners. So if I'm Kelenic, stay patient. We are on the way, Jared. Once you're available, we are getting you back. So the relationship with the Mariners and Jared Kelenic is going to continue to get worse and worse. Do I believe Blevins will make the roster, David? No, I'm still leaning towards Mike Montgomery. I mean, Jerry Blevins hasn't blown me away. He's just the guy that he hasn't been perfect. And even the innings that he doesn't give up any runs, they're still very stressful. It's a lot of base runners. Every at-bat seems like it's a long at-bat. So I don't think Blevins is going to make the team, David, but at least he's trying his best. Frank, what Mets prospect are you excited to see called to myself? I'm sorry, Pearson Armstrong. The guy that I'm excited for, like Pearson Armstrong is up there, but Francisco Alvarez, that's my guy right there. I really want to see a catcher of the future. Alvarez hit a home run against DeGrom this morning. So Francisco Alvarez is the prospect I am most excited to see. I know he looked great in spring training. He didn't get many ABs. He still is very young. And the good thing is that since the Mets gave James McCann a 4-year contract, you have at least 4 years for Alvarez to really develop and be ready for Major League Baseball. Seldom I meant, I got you. Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm glad that we didn't get A-Rod and J-Lo. I'm happy we have Steve Cohen. And I think that, you know what, you don't take that risk of really going out of the way to troll Met fans if you're not going to definitely extend Lindor. And again, I think what happens with the fact that you traded for Lindor, gave up Jimenez and Rosario and these other prospects, you wouldn't do it if you did not have the full intention of re-signing him. And there's no reason why you wouldn't re-sign Francisco Lindor. I mean, you should be all for it. Anthony Record called a good game. I mean, yeah, he did, but he could not swing the bat at all. Bryce had a bomb say that's good for Bryce. Andrew, your message, it got deleted, so you're going to have to send it again. Do you like the reliever opener thing? It depends on the pitcher. Like for Lucchesi, I'm willing to give it a shot in spring training. Like if I do know that third turn around the order, he is not great. So if you want to have Jacob Barnes as an opener, see what happens in spring training. If it works, you could try the regular season. But if it looks terrible tomorrow, at least it was spring training. The game didn't count. So I'm willing to give it a try. Like it depends on the pitcher. That's the way I look at it. Josh Bell, OP, Andrew. I agree. I mean, Josh Bell, the home run he hit against Robert Gazelman, I mean, that was so effortless. He went opposite field off the scoreboard. So Josh Bell definitely has some crazy power. Andrew Nimmo is winning a Gold Glove. He's looked good so far. He's got a couple of Wemjebs, definitely, and I'm all for playing him further back. This way, he's so much better coming in than going back. It's obvious. And it's just the fact that, you know what, he is going to be improved in the center field. That is good to see. Mars Gaming, I feel Julio Urias could be a good fit for the Mets. The problem is the Dodgers, who knows how much they are looking for. Yeah, I don't think the Dodgers want to trade Julio Urias. I mean, he was so important for them winning the World Series. He basically became their closer. So I think the Dodgers want to hang on to Julio Urias. He's more than OP. I mean, Josh Bell is underrated. He's very good. It was a nice move for the Nationals. I feel like the Nationals make old players better than ever. That's true. They have had a lot of veterans really step up. I mean, Gerardo Parra, Howie Kendrick. I mean, Nationals get the most out of their vets. Will Gazelle make the team, Robert? After tonight, probably not. I think that as long as Jacob Barnes isn't awful tomorrow, I think Jacob Barnes is going to make the team over Gazelman. That's the way I look at it. The Dodgers would need to give him up. Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers don't have any reason to trade Julio Urias. And like I said, I always say it's always better to have more arms. And the Dodgers believe in that. I mean, the Dodgers are going to have as many good pitchers as possible. Like, they didn't need Bauer, but they still got him because they just want as many pitchers as they could possibly have. Nationals looking good so far, going to be good. Yeah, I've said the Nationals are underrated. Like, the Nationals are going to have a good year, and it's going to be a very tough division. You know, every game for the Mets is going to be tough. It's going to be close. So, I mean, it's going to be a really crazy season, and this is the channel to get the instant reaction, the frank take on it. No more cheating for Mad Max, though. Yeah, I mean, with these supplements, it's going to be different. I think since Gazelman was so bad, he's a lock to make the team. I mean, listen, see, the Mets have given Gazelman so many chances. Even today, they gave him like 50 pitches. So, I mean, the Mets have given Gazelman every opportunity for him to be successful, and he really hasn't been able to do it yet. Kyle Schwarber is underrated move for the Nats. Yeah, I mean, Kyle Schwarber looks good so far, too. I mean, he's a guy, he had a down year in 2020, but we know he has a ton of power. So they definitely gave the lineup more power behind Juan Soto. So that was good to see. Do you have any plans for the channel for opening day? Well, Andrew, I mean, we're going to do the Mets weekly, I mean, pretty much all night from 6 all the way through the game. So those are the plans for opening day right now. But other than that, that's really it. Like, I'm going to make some videos leading up to opening day, like kind of a preview and stuff like that, looking at the team and things like that. But the actual opening day is really going to be the Mets weekly because that's going to be all night. So definitely be sure to tune into that. If the Mets do well in the division, they could win the World Series. Not necessarily. I mean, as long as the Mets pitching is okay and they're healthy, they have a chance to beat anybody. That's the way I look at it. Gary Sanchez is the most overrated player in the AL. He's had a good spring so far. We'll see how it works out, but he has been really bad the past few years. No, Tyler Glasnow is. I mean, Glasnow, he had good starts. He had bad starts. No, Schwarber is overpaid. Jock Pearson would have been better. Well, that's why the Cubs got Jock Pearson. We'll see how it works out. Like, will the Nationals be better off with Kyle Schwarber? Will the Cubs be better off with Jock Peterson? We won't know until the end of the season. I mean, they are very similar players, so I like it. Frank, he's batting 167. Who's batting 167? Gary Sanchez, Schwarber? I mean, who are we talking about right now? Nationals or Mets, who will do better? Oh, Sanchez batting 167. I saw him hit some home runs, though, so that's what I was referring to with Gary Sanchez. I'm not saying he's going to hit 300. I mean, Gary Sanchez is not a batting average guy. He's a home run hitter. He's pretty much an all or nothing home run hitter. Nationals, Mets, I think the Mets will be better than Nationals this year. Eloy, injury thoughts? It's a big loss for the Chicago White Sox. He's a really exciting young player, and he definitely is a big part of their roster. And it's unfortunate that the young player got hurt and is going to be out for a few months. Unfortunately, it's ESPN game. I agree. I mean, that's why you got us for the broadcast. You don't have to listen to ESPN. Go to Mets Fans Only channel. You're going to hear me and all the other guys. We're going to commentate the game. We're going to talk about the game. So you have to hear ESPN. You definitely get an alternate way to watch it. Didn't realize it was Thursday. Yeah, Andrew. I mean, that was actually really good timing for us. The fact that it was Thursday, so we could do a Mets Weekly during opening day. Thor is going to dominate this year. He viewed my Instagram story. I said, "Oh, that's what's up, Z." I mean, Noah. I mean, the fact that he's already throwing 97. It's not even June yet. I'm really excited to see Noah Syndergaard come back. Again, I said if his velocity is there, he'll do good. And his velocity is there, so Noah Syndergaard will be good. Anthony Rendon is a dark horse MVP candidate. It's possible, Hydro. It's hard when Trout is on your team and you're ready to have a guy who's a favorite to win the MVP. It's tough to outdo him. But, I mean, we'll see. No, Sanchez has been awful. He only had like 5 hits and 3 home runs. I mean, I saw him hitting home runs before. I haven't been watching every single Yankee game. Josh Bellflower rakes. He does. You guys are much better than ESPN. Thank you. I appreciate that, Z. He's probably going to miss whole regular season. Who's going to miss the whole regular season? He could get to 100 miles per hour. I hope so. I mean, if he's at 97 already, it's possible he could get back up to triple digits. And if Noah has his 100, that's what he builds his whole pitching style off of. Our bullpen scares the that's going to be the biggest problem. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's really going to be bad. Oh, he's probably missed the right season. Yeah, they said 5 to 6 months. I don't think it's going to be the whole season, though. I mean, we'll see, Benjamin. I'm not exactly sure if he'll miss the whole season. I did see 5 to 6 months, though. Did you see ESPN's top 25 players? I did. I really can't believe they ranked Garrett Cole over Jacob deGrom. I mean, yeah, exactly. I just could not believe that. That was really crazy. What else? I think Trout, Soto, deGrom, Betts. I like Betts more than Soto. I think that Mookie Betts just gives you more of a complete package. Like Juan Soto is a tremendous hitter, but I think that Mookie Betts gives you more. I've been thinking about this a lot. Thoughts on Jose Alvarez being insanely nasty? I mean, that was a really good pick for the Phillies. I mean, again, anytime that you get somebody from the Tampa Bay Rays, like the Mets have done with Aaron Loop, you're on the right track. So, I mean, if Alvarez is dominating from the left side of the Phillies pen, that's going to help them out a lot. Bananas or apples, Andrew? If it's green apples or yellow apples, then I'll take the apple because I do like the bitterness. I'm like a bitter person. I like lemonade. But if it's a red apple, give me the banana. I mean, that's the way I go when it comes to the fruits. Okay. Any other questions you guys want to know? Any other very important matters that we want to discuss here on a late night stream? Some nighttime action. It definitely is. I mean, this is what we're going to have to get used to because going to be a lot less day games when the regular season comes around. We're going to be here on the nighttime shift talking about what happens, whether it's good or bad. And it's unfortunate because, this should have been a win, but you can't say that the Mets did not give guys like Gesellman and Tarpley a chance. They gave them a very fair chance to make the team. So if they don't make it, that's on them. Are you going to any games this year? Well, Andrew, I just got my first vaccine shot today, so the chances of me going to games have significantly increased. So once I'm fully vaccinated, there's a much better chance I will be going to some games this year, Andrew. Are you going to any games, Andrew? That'd be pretty cool. I mean, maybe we could do a little collab there. That'd be fun. Hydro apple juice or orange juice? I like orange juice. I think orange juice is pretty good. NL MVP prediction. I think Juan Soto, lovable lefty. I mean, again, the guy is just going to put up such crazy numbers that he's going to be hard to pick against, I think. Like, he's going to bat over 300. He's going to hit close to 40 home runs and just have a really big impact for the Nationals. Nationals are going to have a good year. Not going to win the division, but I think that Juan Soto will have such an impact that he's probably going to win MVP. But it is tough. I mean, the National League MVP is a lot tougher to pick than the American League MVP. The National League has so many guys that could do it. Acuna could do it. Mookie Betts could do it. Fernando Tatis Jr. All those guys are very capable MVP players. And also, I'm winner Jacob deGrom all the way. Jacob deGrom all the way. deGrom has MVP chance, Andrew. It's so hard for a pitcher, though. I mean, when was the last time that a pitcher won the MVP? It is really difficult to do. I mean, it has become such a hitter's award, so it's very tough. Could agree more with Soto. They're all tough. Frank, I'm worried about Kershaw. He's my favorite Dodger. I mean, Kershaw is getting up there in age. He can only be dominant for so much longer, so we'll see. I care for the season to begin. You guys covering it throughout will make it sweeter. Thank you, David. I agree. I hope we can make the season as enjoyable for you guys as possible. That's what we're here for. We're in the entertainment business a little bit. So, I mean, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make good YouTube content, get the channel growing. Leaving a like on the videos, it helps. It allows YouTube to suggest the video to more people. More people can watch it. It's more people for us to interact with. Who win the NL Central? I still want to say the Cardinals. I'm going to stick with that. Now, I don't think Soto win MVP, but that's just me. That's fine, Jonathan. Again, like, I'm not saying Juan Soto, no doubt. Like, there's plenty of guys that can win the National League MVP. If Steven Strasburg is healthy, Nats will be good. Yeah, Strasburg is going to be a huge part of the national success. You need starting pitching. So Scherzer, Strasburg, Corbin, Lester, they all have to be effective. I think I'm going to at least one to St. Louis because I moved to Missouri. Okay, but hoping to get back up in July because of leaving. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, Andrew. That is one of my main goals is to go to a Cardinals game. I think they have such a beautiful stadium over there. I really would like to go there one day. Maybe not, probably not this year, but hopefully you could get to New York at some point and be able to check out some games. And again, like if they are in like a big time playoff race, then there's a much better chance you're going to see me there. NL East standings top to bottom. Oh my gosh, I hate this question. It's always so tough because I always like kind of sway on it. But I still want to say Braves, Mets, Nats, and then like Phillies, Marlins. It's just I can't pick between the two of them. It's just so hard to pick between the Phillies and Marlins for me. There's so many NL MVP candidates: Arenado, Acuna, Tatis, Soto, and more. It's insane. Yeah, no, the National League, it's stacked right now. Just in general, you look at the competition that the Mets have in the National League East compared to so many divisions, especially in the American League. The National League is no joke right now. I mean, there is a lot of really exciting young players too. That's what's cool is that these guys like Acuna and Tatis and Soto, they're very young. So we're going to see these guys for a long time. It's a great time to be a baseball fan right now. All these exciting young players. I would love to see Molina before he retires, man. Molina with the Mets because since he resigned with the Cardinals, he will never be anything but a Cardinal. Like I feel like this might be his last contract. That's what I'm thinking because he really he's getting up there. I mean, and Molina, I love Yachty. He's a great player and all, but he is getting pretty old. No, I was just making sure. But are you talking about like in person? I wouldn't mind seeing Molina in person too. I guess. I mean, since he's PR. I wouldn't mind seeing him. But yeah, Molina, as much as I like admire how good he is, as a Met fan, he's hard to root for after what he did in 2006. That's just the way I look at it. He definitely gave us a lot of pain. To be honest, Bush is kind of overrated. The background is amazing. Yeah, that's what I like, Andrew. I like the background. I guess that's why I want to go. But the stadium itself is not that good. I mean, I still want to go. Like, I just want to go to as many ballparks as possible. That's the way I look at it. Will Drew Smith or Steven Tarpley make the team? Drew Smith will make the team once he's healthy. Steven Tarpley, as of right now, looks like he's not going to make the team. But once Drew Smith is healthy, I think he will be in the bullpen. Other than Citi Field, which stadium has great food? Jonathan, I haven't been to enough stadiums to really give a good answer. I have to go to more, honestly. No more tough questions, but who wins wild card, Mets or Padres? I say Mets because I like the one-game chance win DeGrom over Lamet or Darvish. Yeah, I mean, I think if the Mets get to a wild card game and their bullpen has been pretty good throughout the course of the regular season, then I will say Mets. You know, if the like what tells me is like if the Mets get to a wild card game or better yet win the division, I love the Mets' chances in the playoffs because that tells me that everything broke right. As long as everything breaks right for the Mets, we're good. Like I'm more concerned about the Mets making the playoffs than how they will do. Again, as long as they can get there, they got a chance. I mean, that's the way that it goes. It also with health. Will they perform in June? There's so many things that go to. Yeah, I mean, hit it if possible. The Reds ballpark is the best I've been to. I've hit 30. So really, a Great American ballpark is good. I mean, well, that's someone I have to check out. Which ones do you like, Andrew? The 13 been to because the only major league park I've been to is Citi Field. I really want to go to the other ones. Like I've been to spring training games, but I really want to go to other states and see their ballparks. That is like number one on my bucket list is to see these other parks. Yeah, man, he screwed us in 2016, but as a pro, I have more beef with Stroman. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the fact that Stroman was on USA, Arenado, Stanton, you know, all these guys have PR ties, and none of them pitched for Puerto Rico, and that's what got Seth Lugo hurt. The fact that Puerto Rico had no one else that could pitch, so they overused Seth Lugo. That's why he had that UCL, which so far his UCL looks good right now. But, you know, obviously they're more concerned about those bone chips in his elbow. And Lugo coming back, that's going to be so massive for this team because then we don't have to worry as much about, you know, will Stephen Tarpley perform? Will Jacob Orange perform? Because once we have Lugo, the bullpen will be a lot more stable. Emilio Pagan could be good for Padres. Yeah, Emilio Pagan is a very good reliever. So, I mean, he's going to pitch well. I learned so much from you guys on a daily basis. The combination of new Mets management, the Mets user community definitely got me invested like never before. Thankful to do. Well, thank you for supporting David Perez. I mean, we couldn't do it without you. Like, I mean, I couldn't do this channel if I didn't get all the views and likes and subscribers and stuff like that. So, I mean, can't do it without you guys. Barrios and De Leon were teenagers back then. They did great. Yeah, and Barrios was impressive too. How do you think Barrow will fare in 21? He's not going to be anywhere as good as 2020. I mean, that's for sure. He'll probably be pretty good, but he's not going to have ERA in the ones again. I don't think he'll have ERA in the twos at this point. The fact that spring training has not gone well for him and that they're probably going to try and crack down the substance stuff, it doesn't look like a good year for Bauer. I think Walker Buehler has a good chance to win AL Cy Young, but still think DeGrom is going to win it. Yeah, I think DeGrom is going to win it, and Walker Buehler could definitely be in the running. I mean, Walker Buehler is probably going to win the Cy Young at some point because he is so good and still very young. And again, you know, to go back to the Dodgers, they have a lot of really good starting pitchers. And that is why it's important that, you know what, Syndergaard comes back as healthy, Carrasco comes back as healthy, because the Mets are going to need good starting pitchers to combat the rotation that they're going to face, like the Dodgers, like the Padres with Darvish and Snell and Lamet and Musgrove. You know, maybe somebody else steps up for them. So it's going to be tough. I mean, again, whether it's in the West, whether it's the East, Mad Bum is so slept on. I mean, yeah, he's been hurt and everything ever since that huge World Series he had. Mad Bum hasn't been the same, but he definitely is a guy that is pretty underrated, and we'll see how much he has left in the tank. He signed a pretty big contract in Arizona last year, so I'm excited to see what Mad Bum could do. I always like watching him, and he's probably happy to have, you know, a no DH because Madison Bumgarner can swing that bat. He's going to get it done. You know, as I see David Pearson get a hit today, by the way, I mean, that's one thing that will happen is that even though we will have the no DH, Mets pitchers get hit very well. Like we know DeGrom could hit, Syndergaard could hit once he comes back. We saw David Pearson get a hit today. Taijuan Walker is a big-time athlete. I feel like he probably could hit eventually. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Thoughts on Ian Anderson for the Braves? I like Ian Anderson a lot. I mean, I think he's really, really good. So Ian Anderson is going to be a big part of why the Braves will have a good year. They have a very good rotation. Do you see Gore coming up for Padres this year? If they need him to, and he's doing well in the minor leagues, it definitely could happen. I'm not going to predict it, but Mackenzie Gore could come up for San Diego. It definitely is possible. In this order, Mets, Reds, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Phillies, Cards, Nats, KC, Miami, New York, Los Angeles, Tampa hitting. Wow, that's a lot, man. Jeez, you've been to a ton. Wow. I want to go to all of them. Interesting. Yeah, Pittsburgh is the one I want to go to. That looks like a really nice, you know, background. Pittsburgh is definitely high on my list. The Phillies, I'm probably going to go to at some point. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would like to hit a lot more stadiums. That's something I'm going to get done for sure, and hopefully have videos from those stadiums. That would be really really cool. But that's a lot of ballparks to go to for sure. Jeez, I really want to go. All right. So anything else we have? I mean, one of the things that stood out today was the fact that the Mets got 12 hits, but only had 3 runs. Don't love that. I mean, that tells you that you left a ton of runners on base, which is something you don't want to see. You know, the Mets had the bases loaded, and I believe it was Conforto then into the double play. Can't have that happen. I mean, when you have the bases loaded, you really want to drive those guys in. So I don't want to see that be a problem for the Mets again, where they have guys on base, they can't bring them in. I don't want to see that happen. The Mets have the 10th pick in the 2021 draft. Do you think the Mets are going to draft a pitcher or another hitter? I think I feel like they're going to lead pitcher. I feel like as of right now, the Mets have a good amount of offensive prospects. You know, we talked about they have 3 third basemen pretty much if they're going to move Mauricio to third. You have Pico Armstrong. You have Francisco Alvarez. So I feel like at some point you have Matthew Allen for pitching, but I'd probably go another pitcher if I'm the Mets. But it depends who's on the board at the time. I mean, it definitely depends on who's available. What about Kim for the Padres? Kim's going to be an interesting one. You know, the fact that the Padres re-signed somebody like Jurickson Profar, it's going to make it tougher for Kim because he's only going to play every now and then. He'll have some impact, but I just don't think he's going to get enough games to really have like a major impact for San Diego because they have just such a good roster. He's not really going to start over anybody. I've seen Citi Field from the outside visit. That's not a place I've been to. I'm so stupid. I went to Fenway Park. I'm so dumb. Yeah, so I've been to 2 MLB parks. I've also been to Fenway. I loved Fenway. That was great. I'm definitely going to go back for sure. I really like Fenway. I want to go to Wrigley also. That's very high on my list. But, yeah. Andrew, I mean, we need a Mets YouTube road trip. Kind of like telling that would be so much fun, Andrew. If we could get, you know, all the YouTubers together and go to somewhere like Citi Field or maybe even invade Yankee Stadium or something like that. That'd be a lot of fun, Andrew. I got to talk to the guys in the group chat, see if, you know, all of us could arrange something like that. That'd be a lot of fun, Andrew. We need pitching. I was scared Pearson would get hurt since he pitched 6 innings today. No, I mean, Darren Pearson, eventually you got to let the guy pitch, you know. Eventually you have to let him go 5 innings, let him go 6 innings, really build up his arm to get ready for the season. So I was fine with that. And, you know, again, you can never have enough pitching. I totally agree with you guys. But I think that if Syndergaard was healthy and Carrasco was healthy, David Pearson are probably in the minor leagues right now. So, I mean, the Mets are in a pretty good situation pitching-wise. You know, the fact that Pearson has had a good spring training, Lucchesi has been good, Yamamoto's been good. They should be okay in the starting rotation. That's one area that I'm not really worried about. I'm more concerned about the bullpen. And then, obviously, the defense, you never know when it's going to come around and haunt you. So, you know, the fact that, like, we saw Gazelman have a bad outing, we saw Tarpley have a bad outing, they're not going to make the team. But, you know, we are going to see Familia Betances blow some games. That's what stinks. Pearson did good, though, the no-hit innings. Yeah, I mean, he had a no-hitter going for a little bit, but then the National League was put it across a couple of runs. But, again, like, if you told me David Pearson went 6 innings, 2 runs against the Nationals, I'm not mad at it. Again, Juan Soto was not out there. That makes a big difference. But I definitely will take that start from David Pearson for a guy who hasn't pitched almost 2 weeks. Tarpley sucks, Ty CH. I mean, he did not look good today. I can't defend the performance, no doubt. All right, bro. I was enjoying the stream. Can't for the real games. Can I keep grinding? Have a great weekend. Thank you, Andrew. Have a great weekend as well. Keep grinding on your channel also. So thank you for tuning in, Andrew. I really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody who's stuck around, popped in every now and then. Definitely appreciate all you guys. But again, I mean, that's why Mike Montgomery, I think he's going to make the team over Stephen Tarpley. And Mike Montgomery's impressed me. Like, I didn't have high expectations for him. When the Mets signed him, I was like, all right, it's another arm. Probably not going to make that big of a difference. But Montgomery's been pretty good. And again, it's a big outing for Jacob Barnes tomorrow. It's a big outing because if Barnes has another good outing tomorrow, I mean, I feel like he's pretty much a lock to make the team. So, I mean, that would be good because he's a guy that we didn't have high expectations for. So if we could have some guys, you know, overachieve, exceed expectations, that'd make a big difference in the grand scheme of things. Because we've had so many guys, like we have these expectations for them, and they don't meet it. They're not nearly as good as we hoped. So if these guys could, like Barnes and others could step up, that'd be big for the Mets for the regular season. Shane Green is still a free agent. He sure is. But, I mean, I don't think the Mets are going to sign him at this point. You know, you've already gone through spring training. I feel like I guess they feel like they don't need him that badly to give him a multi-year deal. And Shane Green, the fact that he didn't have spring training to really get his arm ready, you take a big risk because when Craig Kimbrell was available in 2018, I really wanted him. or 2019. I'm not sure what year it was, but whenever Kimbrel, it might have been 19. When Kimbrel was available, I really wanted him, but it was during the middle of the season, and Kimbrel was never able to bounce back. And I think that when you pick up a reliever in the middle of the season and they haven't really had enough experience, you take a big-time risk. And I don't want to do that because Shane Green's asking for a multi-year deal. And at the beginning of spring training, I totally would have done it. But at the end of spring training, the Shane Green we're going to get now is not as good as the Shane Green we would have got before. So if he's not going to be as effective, it's not as much worth it to me. I mean, that's just the way that I would approach it. We have to see what we got. And then, we could make a move at the trade deadline to get something like that. Who do you think will win NL Rookie of the Year? I think it's going to be Ke'Bryan Hayes. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but last Saturday I posted my awards predictions where I answered a lot of these questions. So I encourage you to check that out if you haven't seen it yet. And any video in particular you guys would like to see tomorrow, any suggestions? Maybe not tomorrow per se, but like down the road for a future subscriber Saturday. Any quality start that our pitchers make, we can make a good push to win, since I'm pretty sure we could do 3 to 4 games a game. Yeah, I mean, listen, David Pearson, like I said, once everybody's healthy, he might even be in the minor league. So if he's pitching that good right now, I'm all for it. I mean, let's get it done, because the Nationals are a team that he's going to face a lot. And I love what I saw from David Pearson in his rookie year. So you feel like he should only get better, but doesn't always agree. You were at the game today on Slap. That's awesome. That's what's up. Lindor looked great. Yeah, I mean, Francisco Lindor got a couple hits, average at 348, on base percentage at 400, made some nice defensive plays. Obviously, we see him hit a few home runs already. So, I mean, listen, I think they're going to get it done. Now that Cohen sent out that tweet, I have so much more confidence that they're going to get the deal done. Did you see the ESPN ranked Cole ahead of DeGrom? I did see that, Elijah Ramos, and I completely disagree with them. I think Jacob DeGrom is better than Garrett Cole, and he's going to prove it this year. So once Jacob DeGrom has another year that is better than Garrett Cole in a much, much tougher division with a worse defense, with a worse bullpen, Jacob DeGrom's still better than Garrett Cole, ESPN better change their minds. That's the way I look at it, because, again, when you look at the full criteria of what DeGrom has to deal with, the fact that this guy is still so consistent, so successful, I give him so much credit. ESPN rankings are the worst. Yeah, a lot of rankings are just so weird. I feel like when was the last time we saw one of these places do a rankings and we're like, oh, we agree with everything? That never happens. We don't really agree. Thank you, Hydro. I appreciate it. LB's going to go hard at Cole and Bauer using sticky substance. Yeah, I mean, if Garrett Cole all of a sudden becomes the pitcher, he was with the Pirates again, not so much, with the Astros and the Yankees. That's going to be big. We'll see how much it affects somebody like Garrett Cole and Bauer. I'm curious to see. Like, I think Diaz is definitely going to have a better year. So the fact that the ball's dead, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun year, and we're getting really close, guys. Less than a week away from opening day. We are so close to really having these games offered. Rizzo got offered a extension. Sia got to go for that stream. You got to leave because Rizzo got an offer, Vincent? You're like, you got to dip? I mean, really? The Rizzo offer means that much to you, Vincent? Thank you for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. If McNeil starts hitting, this team is set. At spring, most players have hit 280, 300. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Jeff McNeil is that you can make the case he's the best overall, all-around hitter on the team, and he's just slumping right now. I think McNeil will get it going. Like, we saw him he struggled really, really, really bad in 2020, got hot, hit a bunch of home runs in 1 week, still finished the year over a 300 average. So McNeil will figure it out. The offense is going to be fine. I'm not concerned with the lineup at all. Like, I think this lineup is going to be pretty good. Maybe not the best in baseball, but it'll be good enough. Like, if the Mets don't make the playoffs or if they don't, go as far as we hope, it won't be because of the lineup. It'll be because of health or something with the bullpen. ESPN wants clicks, probably. Call 6 days, Benjamin. Yes, 6 days. And you know what? In a couple hours, it's going to be 5 days. So we're getting really close. Mets have top 8 offense. I agree. I think they're top 8. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much around where they are. And they have a lot of capabilities. There's a lot of upside. The fact that James McCann, another guy, he had a multiple hit game. His average is above 300. And James McCann is your number 8 hitter. If your number 8 hitter has an above 300 average, which James McCann will not have above 300 average in the regular season, but he was an all-star in 2019. If that's your number 8 hitter, you have a very, very good lineup. And if Jeff McNeil is your number 6 hitter, and again, you make cases your best hitter, that's a really good lineup. I mean, no matter what way you slice it, the Mets lineup is solid. And the fact that every now and then, if you need a backup, Pilar steps in. He can give you plenty of offense. He's had a good spring. VR, I hope he could be a little better. Guillorme's had a good spring. Tomas Nido has looked improved. So no matter who's starting for the Mets, you're going to have good offense out there. And hopefully the pitchers could get the bunts down a little better. That definitely helps when you don't have a DH. But I think the offense can be very good. I can't have other people besides you. Yeah, no, I agree, Jonathan. Like, there's plenty of people that think Cole's better than DeGrom. I'm not sure why. Like, other than strikeouts, where is Cole better than Jake? I just think that the overall longevity, the long-term consistency, I give the edge to Jacob deGrom. I mean, I really do. He's such a good, consistent pitcher. That's the thing, again, that separates deGrom from so many others, the consistency. Like, he doesn't have the bad month or bad, 2 starts. deGrom is good pretty much every single start. I mean, that's what really separates him from a lot of these other pitchers, in my opinion. Okay. Anything else that we have? JD and McCann, I'm not mistaken, are in top run score 79. Here's they could be. I haven't looked at the league leaders right now in runs scored. It's possible, though, Jose. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me because the thing is that, like, when you have those kind of guys at the bottom, as long as they're getting on, Lindor is going to bring you in. Conforto is going to bring you in. Pete Alonso is going to bring you in. I mean, the fact that Alonso's has a 340 average in spring training, that's wonderful. I mean, Pete Alonso could make such a major difference for the lineup. Cole gives up more home runs, higher ERA, more walks. He's been better the last 3 years, like ESPN step it up. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Cole is susceptible to the home run ball and things like that. And again, I mean, with the 4 substances being banned, we'll see how Cole looks. I mean, I'm very curious to see how that's going to work out for him. And just that whole Yankees rotation in general. There's a lot of question marks, guys that they haven't had full seasons lately. So they're going to be asking a lot. They're really going to be relying on their pitchers to really get it through. Okay, so we're having some people leave. If you guys are getting pretty tired, I'm getting pretty tired as well. So if we do not have anything else, I guess we could call it a night right here. But definitely thank you, everybody, for tuning in. A lot of comments, a lot of things to talk about. DeGrom is the man, the GOAT man. See, yeah, exactly, Cole. Exactly. I mean, the fact that DeGrom has been throwing 101, 102, it's been so encouraging to see. I mean, a lot of guys have been having a good spring training. That's what's been very encouraging too. Like, there haven't been, as far as like our core guys, that many guys having bad spring trainings. Like, we could talk about Gazelman. Hopefully, he doesn't make the team. Bjorn Almora needs to play better. Jonathan Bjorn definitely needs to be a lot better. Almora, he's here for defense. He's had a couple home runs, but I wouldn't expect Almora to do much with the bat. He's there for a defense. You're going to stream after tomorrow's game, Elijah? Is it a home? No, there's not going to be a stream tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm busy, so no stream tomorrow. Let me take a look at the schedule. This way I can let you guys know. There will be a video tomorrow, though. Not a stream, but there should be a video tomorrow. I just want to see the schedule real quick to know when the next stream is. The next stream will be maybe a short one Tuesday. And then, like, if Sunday, Monday's the last game. Wow, that is crazy. Monday is the last spring training game. So maybe if somebody has a stream, like if Best Fan Only or Tony Metro or somebody like has a stream, I'll join in. But other than that, maybe I'll do one myself on Monday. Maybe there'll be a stream Monday. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be it. Spring training, only a couple games left. Monday's the last spring training game, and then it's on to the real stuff. So until then, guys, be safe, be smart, be healthy. Again, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Love all you guys. Have a good one, everyone. Let's go, Mets.